Nairobi County.
Now, the termination of the comprehensive medical insurance cover for secondary school learners, dubbed Afya, left hundreds of children and their parents who depended on the scheme in pain. Now, the scheme was rolled out in April 2018 after a contract signing between the Ministry of Education and NHIF that meant all learners in public secondary schools access treatment. As Emily Chabet reports, questions surrounding the failure to review the contract have been in the public, with some parents citing corruption within the scheme.
Kwena is a parent of a 15-year-old daughter who is suffering from sickle cell disease, the same disease that took away 4 other children from her in the past. When her daughter Sonia joined Form 1, Faulata was relieved that the Afya scheme will reduce the medical bill burden, even if it will be only for 4 years.
I managed to benefit from it just once. And I remember the child was in such a crisis. I even lost other children to sickle cell. I could not afford the bone marrow transplant. So when I learned that the Afya could pay, I had hope for the first time. My daughter had hope. And we had a happiness in this home, knowing that we have a solution to something that we were not able to take care of in the past.
Faulata's hopes and those of her daughter were short-lived. A trip to India planned for purposes of a bone marrow transplant for Sonia did not happen.
I took time to break the news to Sonia. And when I did, I remember her first reaction. She temporarily forgot herself and said, "Oh my, there was this girl in the ward I was with who had leukemia, and she was so thin, and she was waiting for the same approval to go for also a bone marrow transplant." And she said, "That girl is going to die." And then after a while, she hit depression herself.
Afya scheme was meant to help in the diagnosis of previously undetected and therefore untreated chronic conditions that cause students to miss school regularly. Any student who was enrolled in a public secondary school was a beneficiary of the 4.5 billion Kenya shillings medical scheme, and a circular to suspend it by the 31st of December 2023 came as a shocker to a majority of parents.
I would really appeal to the president to rethink the decision to do away with this scheme. I understand that it was done away with because of corruption. But corruption exists in most of our institutions, and I think what we just need to do is put checks and measures instead of doing away with everything that is so beneficial.
Faulata and her daughter require 8 million Kenya shillings to go to India for the bone marrow transplant. She is currently fundraising from friends and family.
I would have done this operation I'm fundraising for quietly, with dignity, and without having to disturb people, but now I've had to put away my shame and whatever it puts a person who is going out there to beg. I would have done it with insurance.
According to Elijah Washira, the Chief Executive Officer at the NHIF, the contract between the Ministry of Education and NHIF came to an end in December last year. He says NHIF had been contracted by the Education Ministry. The Ministry of Health is set to roll out another scheme, but students will be part of the beneficiaries under their parents' cover. Emily Chabet, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
Well, transport and roads